first honest prayer I ever said in my life was June 15th, 2009. At the time, I didn't know it was a prayer. I didn't know it was an honest prayer. I didn't know what it was. I was laying on the floor of the drunk tank after just picking up my 4th drunk driving charge. I was laying there and I was thinking of how I was going to get out of this one because I'd gotten out of 3 of them without too much harm. 2009 DWI was a serious offense. 4 of them meant probably 5 years in the pen. I was scared. After I'd been through all the processing, fingerprinting, I'd been through the merry-go-round ride many a time. I knew exactly what was coming. I looked around the room and there was 6 or 8 other guys in a room that was probably designed to hold about 2. It smelled like a baboon cage at the zoo. It was terrible. As I laid there before I finally dozed off to sleep, knowing what the next day was going to bring, I looked up at the ceiling and I said, God, if this is all there is to life, don't open my eyes. Well, the next morning my eyes opened and I thought, well, okay, you cruel SOB. I cussed God. I thought God had given up on me. I thought he'd abandoned me. I didn't know what to do. I went to the hearing, get my bond out, and I looked across the room. There was an old guy there. Judge was giving him the business. He was there on his 5th or 6th drunk driving. The judge knew that he had another one pending, and then he had another one in a county next door to us. I looked over at this guy, and I could see he was 30, maybe 40 years older than me, and I was getting a drunk driving about every 10 years. So I thought, I got about 3 more of these in me before I die. I didn't know if I could continue. In any case, as I went through the normal feelings that you go through after a drunk driving, you go through remorse, you swear off the booze, you're not going to drink. It was no different than the first 3 drunk drivings I'd gotten. I went to work the following day after I'd cleaned up a little bit and was making the rounds at work, and I was telling everybody that maybe I hadn't been a good team member, that I was going to straighten out. And the last guy that I came to, a good friend of mine named Larry, looked at me and said, if you want some help, I'll take you to an AA meeting. Well, I didn't figure I'd be real sincere sounding if I said no to that, so I agreed. I didn't want to go to AA. Those people are crazy. They're not my people. They're different than me. So anyway, I went to my first AA meeting, cried my eyes out. I couldn't believe I was doing that. As time went on, I stayed in AA. I guess I got into AA the way I got into drinking. I knew I had to make sure I didn't get picked up again between now and the time that I got sentenced on this drunk driving, because having a pending one is generally a pretty good idea for the judge to throw the book at you on both of them. So I knew I had to stay sober for probably 6 months or a year. So I did. I went to AA as often as I could, as often as possible. I'd go to a meeting or 2 a day. I remember one of the meetings early on I went into, I told them it was something to do with God, that meeting. And I said, I'm not here for all your God stuff, and I'm not here to quit drinking. I'm here to learn how. And they all chuckled, and they thought, yeah, you're a real funny guy, Chris, And I thought, okay, I'm the life of the party here too. They weren't laughing at me. They were laughing with me. They knew that if I could do it, they could, and they knew that it wasn't possible, but they chuckled with me anyway. About a year into it, I don't know when it was, it finally dawned on me, those words that I said that night in the drunk tank, God, if this is all there is to life, don't open my eyes. I realized that God opened my eyes and put me on a path to AA, to sobriety. When that happened, my life continually has improved. I've been sober now almost 13 and a half years from that day. So there is a God. It ain't me. And I don't know if I'll ever meet him, but I know he's looked at me and he hasn't given up on me. I'm not going to give up on him. That's my story. Take it for what it's worth.